Mm-mm. Hello, welcome back to Affirmations. I see I have this camera that sometimes will automatically start. So I said, okay, let me see how this works. So instead of cutting it off, I'm just going to let it roll. Wishing everyone mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical health. Normally, I would have y'all seeing me in live action, things are falling. Normally, I would have my Palo Santo to burn, but again, it kind of automatically started. So I'm just going to go with it and see how this works, okay? Let's see. For those of you that are new, we always start off with our saying, Death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Have you been feeding yourself fresh or rotten fruit? Always wanting to mind the self talk that we do with ourselves as well as what we speak about others. Again, we vent. That's normal, but we want to make sure we're not being malicious or lying on others. Sometimes that can activate reap what you sow. Okay, so we want to be mindful of that. Uh, let's see. I was in the middle of actually finding. I take a lot of time figuring out which glasses I'm going to wear. So I was playing with the idea. So I'm going to do it in front of y'all. Again, we going with the flow because I was getting prepared to get started, but the camera just started rolling. So I'm going to see how this goes. No, I don't like those. We're going to go with these. That was better. Okay. So you get to see a little part of my routine. Hoping everyone has had a good week or is having a good week. If not, what is one thing you can do to kind of help things be better, right? Um, yeah, interesting. I was working with a client, and a lot of times we'll talk about scripture. And one of the scriptures that I normally don't quote, but it's a good one, Matthew 6, verse 25. And I need to look that up, but it talks about tomorrow will worry about itself, right? So a lot of times when we're feeling anxious, that is a good scripture to kind of focus on, right? As well as it's amazing how a lot of these kind of concepts in therapy really kind of come from the Bible or spiritual teachings. But that's that being mindful. That's the same thing, being in the present moment, right? The here and now, not allowing ourselves to allow ourselves to be dragged back to the past, right? Or overly be anxious about the future, right? Tomorrow will worry about itself. Today, right? Are we okay? Today we're okay. And let's see. I'm just trying to find one that I can reach. Okay, so we'll do the soul's journey. The soul's journey. This is in the description box. In the description section. Also, too, in the description section is information about how to find a therapist, as well as how to contact me if you want to get your yearly mental health checkup. We're trying to encourage and start thinking about checking in with ourselves emotionally, about checking on our mental health, okay, each year, and putting that on our to-do list. Also, to information there about self-harm, right? If you know anyone is struggling with that, or if you're struggling with that yourself, okay. Yeah. Let's see. So I've been playing with my camera angles. I normally rig my camera because sometimes when the mood hits me, I would just kind of hit record, and sometimes I don't have a stand. So it looks like I figured out something that'll prop it up without it flipping over. Let's see. Okay, they're all over the place. But anyway, we'll see what we're going to get. Let's see what we're going to get. Let's see. Yeah, one of the things we had started to talk about when I had done a Black History post, check that out. Hey, we got this one, relationships popped out. Relationships, I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. I'm attracted to people who serve my higher good, right? Yeah, so it's kind of, when we look at relationships, sometimes we worry, how do I end up around people that end up hurting me or using me, right? So we're always talking about, especially in slavery, how we were forced to be around people that were not for our higher good, right? The whole, we learn exploitation, right? Relationships based off of exploitation. So that is, because again, one of the concepts we talk about in counseling is if you had not healed the trauma, it will be passed down and repeated, right? So let's see what it's saying. It says, I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. It says, in this three-dimensional, world in which we live, there is a sense that we are separate from one another and also that we meet by chance. Okay. So this kind of concept that nothing is an accident, people are put in your life for certain lessons and purposes. Okay. It says this is an illusion. So what's the illusion? That we're separate from one another and that everything is by chance. Okay. It says the people in our lives are drawn to us and are here for a reason. It's kind of deep. It is through sharing experiences and having relationships with others that we begin to understand ourselves. So you can't even grow and understand who you are or what your beliefs are unless you are in relationships. So relationships, again, is an opportunity for us to be able to even understand ourselves, right? To grow. When someone appears in your life, you must see what is not resolved. Interesting, a whole in the person, and understand the lessons he or she brings home to you. Interesting. So someone's showing up at your doorstep and you're like, why are they here? This is not a match for me. It's saying that we need to look at that and ask, what is it about them? What do we need to understand about them that's going to help us understand ourselves? It says you draw others to you like magnets. Interesting. In order to learn various aspects of yourself. And so that's, again, we always talk about how a lot of times there's a lot of different beliefs, and we either can take those beliefs or not. Again, you have to go with what you feel spiritually led to understand. But I will say, again, the Most High, right, will sometimes put people in situations in your life, and again, to build, to test, as well as to build and kind of make you stronger in certain areas that maybe you're weak in. Right, but it's saying the universe just kind of magnifies people to each other. It says the people you have close relationships with on earth are usually members of what they call your soul family. So again, this is a kind of concept of we're here on earth and we have biological family members, but in the spirituality world, they talk about how there are different dimensions and that there's also spiritual connections there. That's interesting. You have chosen, it talks about you have chosen to incarnate together to help each other learn lessons. So this concept of reincarnation. And so there's a big debate about that as well. Again, even references in the Bibles about, that's very interesting, saying this person is Elijah, this person is calling another person, a past person's name. So this whole concept. So again, these are these kind of complicated concepts that you have to figure out. So saying you have chosen to coordinate together to help each other learn lessons, even though it may not seem that way to you now. Once a lesson is learned, don't be surprised if that person fades away. Very interesting. People are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? And it's funny, you hear a lot of scriptures and sermons. You'll hear people talking about, some people are here for a season, some people are here for a lifetime, but everyone is serving a purpose. So that's an interesting concept. Yeah, put in the comments section your beliefs about that, right? Is it accidental? Are these things, are we led certain places? And when you think about it, we may have a plan for ourselves. And if you notice, a lot of times we will plan things and end up somewhere else. Not because we wanted that, but things shift that way. So it's something to think about, okay? So I'm going to leave you all with that today. Do like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I post. And check out the community tab. A lot of times I will post videos and information there as well. And so I'll end with the statement, everyone has a right to heal from trauma without interference, without the judgment of others, even a race, nation. And until next time, bye.